Pipsqueak, Spike, a True Friend by Switch Down. Shortly after that, Pipsqueak moved to Ponyville from Nottingham. He had no problem to get as many friends, like with Rumble, the Cutie Market Sailors, and even, later on, Diamond Tear and Silver Spoon. But for just one thing that most he had missed while back home was actually one of his best friends. But he was actually happy to have new friends. Well, back in Trottingham, he had actually been for a short time been bullied. There was another called out some names that he was too short, that he was too stupid, and why would he ever go in school when he was so short, and that he would never succeed in anything in the adult life. That was the only after some time before he moved. But the bully suddenly stopped. It was actually after when Pipsqueak told his parents and the teacher, and that student was actually suspended from school for 10 days before he was allowed to come back. And he apologized to Pipsqueak about his bullying. But they were never actually true friends, but they started to get along until he had to move. The move has nothing to do about when his parents heard about his bullying. It was actually that they wanted to move to Ponyville after that his father had get a new job. Pipsqueak had no problem at first, but then sometimes after he moved to Ponyville, he was bullied by Diamond Tear and Silver Spoon for some time, but that all changed after they both getting friends with the Cutie Market Sailors. All this was perfect, no bullies, all friends. Till one day, all that changed for drastically. Because one day, when he came to school, Miss Shirley had announced there were going to be 2 students in the new school. Twins, actually. And they were actually the only twins in Ponyville. Well, except from the Cake twins. There was actually 2 girls. Only one of them was a unicorn, and the other one's actually a Pegasi. The Pegasi was named Blossom Lily, and the unicorn was named Orchid Blossom. Orchid Blossom was actually more open what she do. But her sister, she was opposite. She was only friendly to others, but Orchid Blossom was the totally opposite. He started immediately, right the same day, target some other classmates about calling some names, calling that they are too stupid, and that there are all kinds of things. Pipsqueak, he was immediately there to try to stop it, because there are no bullies in the school. He had moved from Trottingham to Ponyville to get avoid from it. He hoped that he could make this stop. So right before the recess was over, he actually went back into school and told Miss Shirley. And she was very surprised to hearing that Orchid Blossom was bullying others. But then she asked, how about her sister? But he said that Blossom Lily is actually very friendly, but it's her twin sister, the only one of them who is actually bullying. But he hasn't been targeted yet. And after that, she was actually then, after school, during lunch, Orchid Blossom had been called to the classroom by Miss Shirley to have some talk. She was wondering what she was brought to the classroom for. And afterwards, she found out that she had been told, so that some pony had told behind her back that she was bullying others. And after she found out who they were, she started targeting him. At first, it was just a small, invisible jokes, pranks. She called when he sat on his chair, what is fall apart, and she said, "Oh, I think that chair is too weak. You're too fat for it." But no one other opponents laughed. Or he said, "Oh, you shouldn't write that. So you draw that. That looks like a pony. Looks more like a donkey." But the other opponents in his class said, "Why are you picking on him suddenly? Leave him alone. He has nothing to do to you." "Yes, he has. He called the teacher behind my back." "Yes, because you're bullying others," said Featherweight. But she didn't listen. She thought that she thought that she could be has more friends because that she has to target others. But she never had any friends. Her sister, Blossom Lily, actually didn't even enjoy that her sister was bullying Pipsqueak or the others. After nearly 5 weeks of bullying at least from Orchid Blossom, Pipsqueak had enough. He couldn't stand anymore. He told his friends, "If she doesn't stop, I'm not going back to school anymore." "But you have to. If you do not go to school, she knows that you have let her win, and she will probably target on somebody else. What happens if she targets me? Or Apple Bloom?" she said, featherweight. "I don't care. If she doesn't stop doing it, I might probably tell my parents we should go back to Trottingham." And that was something that their friends never expect. To give up so easily. They were surprised. Pipsqueak had always been so brave. Ever since he was the president of the school, well, for school or the class, he's never been that easily to give up hope. But this time, he snapped. His friends were very surprised and wondered, is that even something he would do? Actually, when he came home, his parents asked him how small they were. At first he said, the first time it was actually good, but now he said, not that good. "Oh, something happened?" "Yeah, this girl in school has been bullying me." "What? Why?" she asked his mother. And then Pipsqueak explained every detail what had just happened. And most of her surprise, she never expressed, she never thought that her son would be targeted for something. His friends was actually beyond understanding about this. Most of his friends was never expected, and his parents, they tried to talk to Miss Shirley about it, and even Miss Shirley was still trying to understand. Every time she tried to talk to Ocean Blossom, she said, "Oh, alright, I'm sorry, this was just a mistake." But the answer always happened, continued. And now when they told, when they had actually had Pipsqueak with them when they talked to her, Miss Shirley, and he said, "If she doesn't stop, I'm not going to go back to Trollingham. I'm serious. Don't want to live here anymore." But his parents would never leave. So, if we don't leave, I don't want to go to school. Never. Pipsqueak has actually almost given up hope. Even his friends support. But most of that, even they had his massive support or backup of his friends. But it was enough. Pipsqueak had enough. During recess and the next day, he actually walked up to Orchid Blossom and told her straight out, "You should stop bullying me, and you shouldn't hold me behind my back," he said. "Well, you shouldn't have bullied me. Then if you hadn't bullied me, I wouldn't have told Miss Shirley, and we wouldn't have had this talk." "Why? What? Why? What? What do you mean why? Why are you even here? Talking to me? You shouldn't have bullied me or any others. Your sister thinks that you are a meanie. Okay? I don't care what she thinks. I hate her. I didn't even ask for a sister or friends." This was actually something that Pipsqueak had never expected. He thought that also Blossom actually had some feelings for her sister, like she loved her, that she cared about. But it was almost opposite. Even after school was over, Pipsqueak didn't return home. He actually went to the park. He told his friends that he didn't want to spend time with them today. He preferred to be alone. At the park, he actually ran into Spike. Spike and Pipsqueak have been friends for some time. They often spend time in the castle, just play some games, just hang out, as some friends do. Spike hasn't actually even heard about his bullying problem, and when Pipsqueak told him, he was very surprised. Since Pipsqueak had told Spike about his previously problem when he moved from Trollingham, and he thought this was just some sort of small problem, but he asked, "Has Michelle handled?" "No, it's just continue." Spike wonders, "You should have told her parents. I don't know that will even stop. He probably is not even worth fighting more." But then Miss Shirley had also enough of this talk about. She even called every other students before she started class that if any pony of the class started bullying others, they would be suspended or even expelled from school. But did that stop bullying Arts and Blossom? No. She actually didn't stop at all. She targeted Quick, Pipsqueak, Featherweight, even Sweetbell for all the ponies in class. And now they all had enough. But they couldn't even stop it. Even they told Miss Shirley she wouldn't even do anything that she did. Then she actually suspended Orson Blossom for 2 weeks from school. And her parents was wondering why. And but then Orson Blossom made it up a lie that said that they bullied me, they bullied me. And her parents were so surprised that anybody had ever, but they also were mad. They went to school to talk to Miss Shirley, but Miss Shirley informed them she hasn't been bullied. She was a bully. She had been targeting several other students in her class, but they would even believe it. They had even had several other students coming into class and told them, but they said at least 3 students doesn't even count, said this one. But the mother, she actually started believing them. But if 3 students had said yes, they have been bullied, it must have been true. "Are you serious?" said her husband. "They're just making some up for this." "No, we are not," said Sweetbell and Pipsqueak. But Pipsqueak had enough as well. After this meeting with her parents, it just continued and get any worse. She called them some new names, then even started rumors, but nothing even stopped. Until one day he actually had enough. He told Spike about maybe he could help her, help him and the others. So Spike actually came to school Swede as their bodyguard. But at first, he was actually at the side of the school talking to Miss Shirley, and then the Pete Orson Blossom started bullying his friends, and him. When Spiking came out, he saw that. And as also a surprise, he actually recorded it on tape. Even Awesome Blossom had no idea after she saw that at the end, but she didn't see the tape at all. So after school, they had actually informed her parents to arrive again at the school. And this time, her mother was still very much open to believe with other students. But her father, he was now getting more angry. He threatened to sue the school for false accusations against one of his daughters. Even Blossom Lily could even confirm that all this was actually true, but he didn't believe that. So Miss Shirley said, "Well, if you needed some proof, here you go." And she started on television and actually show the tape. First, Awesome Blossom stood there, just smiling, thinking that there were not any more proof, until she saw the tape. From a smiling to a big shock. After the tape was over, her parents looked at each other and her daughter, who tried to shrink as much as possible. Awesome Blossom, do you have anything I should say? But she didn't say anything. I'm sorry, Miss Shirley, I don't even understand that myself. How could she even do this? I mean, I don't understand why daughter were doing this. When we moved here, we had no problem at back at school. They always had good records, good history, but this is a new turn. It turns out they actually didn't expel Water Blossom at all. Instead, they turned her and told that she is going to be suspended from school for next 2 whole months. And also some extra punishment for her. She will have to clean the classroom for next 2 months as well. And after all this, it all stopped. Thanks to Spike and his friends managed to capture this all on videotape to prove that Awesome Blossom was actually a bully. But after all this, did she continue? No, she felt embarrassed. But that was the right for her to see the film. But it took actually several weeks for her to be apologized even again to Pipsqueak and the others. And even then, first they had a very hard time to accept that she really believed that she had moved on. But after some time, they actually became friends with her. Even if it does that they had at first it's very hard to believe that she actually feels honest. But they gave her some time and some chance to prove it, and she did. And Pipsqueak and his friend was actually happy that Spike was there to help. Even he was to pretend to be their bodyguard, but instead they have to be there like every time in school. He actually came up with an idea to prove that Awesome Blossom was actually a bully by recording it, and they did. And their relationship with their parents were quite rocky at first, but after some time they got to get accepted. And that's how Spike and Pipsqueak became true friends. The end.